Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mentor Jessica, and today's weekly update is about my carnivore journey and my 23 weeks on carnivore and what are my results. Well, just as I suspected, because of where I am it's that time of the month, I am retaining water. I knew I was going to gain weight, at least that's what I already made that assumption. After so many months of tracking, we're in 5 months of tracking, I know what weeks I can expect to be gaining and what weeks I can expect to be losing, depending on when I'm weighing in and depending on what day I'm weighing in on my cycle. So I already knew, and I put that in my video last week, I was expecting to gain this week. However, I didn't gain as much as I have the last 2 weeks. So that's good news. But it also means I'm retaining water, which also means I didn't have the inches lost like I did the previous 2 weeks. But I didn't gain that much. So let's get into those results. All right, so from last week, I did have a gain of 1.8 inches. So if you remember, last week I lost 2.8 and the week before it was 2.4. So I'm good. No fret over that. Weight gain, I gained 1.1 pounds, which isn't nearly as bad as I was expecting it to be. So that's good. And then overall, since the beginning of July, I'm at loss of 14.5 inches and 10.4 pounds. Now, by the end of the year, I'd like to get back down to that point where I was 15 pound loss of 15 pounds, like I was like back in October. I've been so close to that at different times, but I'd really like to get there by Christmas. And as far as like meeting my goals for my sauna goal, I met my sauna goal. I did not get my steps in. I did not get my exercise ring closed. I missed it by 1 day. And that 1 day I only missed by like 2 minutes. So I'm kicking myself about that. But move on. A quick thing. One of the things I forgot to mention when I was talking about my weight and my results is one of the things that really helped me is the app that I use to take my measurements. Because not only does it just take my measurements, but I get a 3D scan that I can look at and be able to compare. Numbers are great, but when you can visualize where you were versus where you are today, because I know before and after pictures are great, they're wonderful, but honestly, that's something I wouldn't take. It's not something I would share. I am not even sure. Well, I didn't think I would share my results and share a video, but here I'm going to, because this has helped me visualize to see where I was at, how far I've come, when I have my days where I'm down, where I have my days where I'm like, okay, so 3 weeks in a row, I have gained weight. But if I go and I'm looking at where I came from, where I am now, and I can do a 3D scan, and I love the app because I can just do my comparison on my different dates. I can look at last week versus this week, but week by week, let's be honest, it's not going to show very much. I can go month by month. I can choose any 2 dates in time that I took my measurements, and I can just put my finger on the screen of the app and swipe back and forth to have it rotate. And that has been my motivation to keep me going, especially on the days where I'm not sure if I should. I'm not sure if there's really any results. Yes, the inches are great. And there's times I'm not seeing a whole lot in the inches, but I'm seeing the body composition change on that app. And I'm like, okay, there are changes happening. Maybe not enough to show up on the scale. Maybe not enough to give overall results. But I'm seeing the changes, and that's worth it. Because I'm reintroducing different foods after doing a carnivore autoimmune protocol. This week, I reintroduced butter, and I mainly just had butter in my coffee. I'm just happy to be able to have, and I'm not having coffee every morning. I'm not having multiple cups of coffee. I am not craving it. I really thought I missed butter more than apparently I did. So I'm not even sure what I want to add next. I'm thinking a seasoning, but I'm also struggling with, I want some type of flavor to my water. And because I'm really tired of water, and plain water was always a struggle. And that's why I have to do the carbonated water with the soda stream, the carbonated at home. So I'm like back and forth, like which one do I want more, especially with coming up on knowing I have holidays and different family get-togethers this next weekend. And what can I add in that's going to help me stay on track and not veer me off course? So I already have a plan of eating till I'm stuffed before I even leave. And I know there's coffee at every one of my family events anyway. And we always bring our own drinks as well. So I'm going to have a cooler, and I'll have my carbonated water to help me stay occupied, have something to fill my stomach. That carbonated water does wonders for me anyway. So I have that planned for this week. My kids, it's their last big get together for class this week, and they're doing a pizza party. So that's going to be another struggle, but have a plan, right? That's an all-day thing. And because they do testing, a pizza party, and they do like different games in between their semester testing. And that is going to be tempting because I know there's different moms that bring biscuits and all kinds of treats and goodies. So I have bacon in the dehydrator for bacon jerky. So I can have that as a snack, most likely my lunch too. I'm really liking that as an on-the-go, eat as I need it. But then it holds so much fat that I'm not very hungry. Even just a couple slices, I'm not very hungry, and then I'm not eating a full meal. So that's where I'm really struggling with the calories, and I'm like, I'm not that hungry. So I'm really struggling with the tracking as I'm introducing foods, but then I have the new foods. I don't know. This has been a crazy week, and we'll see what next week brings. There's going to be temptations, but have a plan. I know I'm planning on doing some more salami chips. I did those in the dehydrator. I've also done those in the oven, and it works fine in the oven. I can just make a whole lot more of them in the dehydrator, where when I made them in the oven, I only had one pan. I don't have multiple pans, so I can only use what I have. And I was able to eat them all in one sitting from what I made, where the dehydrator, I'm not eating all of those in one sitting. So that's what I like about the dehydrator. I can have those and make some type. I know I can make different carnivore dips, and I've had different dips that my kids have been using, that keto dips for them. But I have more options, more things I'm planning on making. That's where the struggle is of what food do I want to add in next. It's more of a struggle. Like, what's going to help me stay on track And then hopefully as I'm reintroducing that food, it doesn't make me sick or I don't have any type of bad reactions to it. And so that's where it's like I feel like a catch-22. If I do something, if I like a seasonings are probably what I'm more afraid of. Adding a seasoning and then finding out that I have a bad reaction to it. But then I'm like, do I have a reaction to just one? Do I have a reaction to several of those seasonings? That's where that's the bigger struggle. Like, what seasoning would I want to add in that would have like the least number of ingredients to help me pinpoint what might be causing a reaction or stomach problems or whatever it is, allergies, runny nose, anything. So that's my struggle there. And then I've been thinking through this last year and realizing my journey to this going carnivore really started like last year at the end of December with a book that I was reading. And then I decided to order a CGM in January, and then testing different things and testing different fasting methods, and was still already on keto. And I'm just shocked. Like, it was a lot more than what I realized. And I'm going through and finding, oh yeah, I did this in January. Oh yeah, I started this in February. Oh, I found out this in March. And it just keeps, as everything goes through, I'm going through and making this list and going, oh wait, no, I realized this, and that's what led me to this part, and that's what led me to this conclusion. So I'm making a list, and I'm hoping to get a video out here shortly. I'm hoping I get all my thoughts down, and hopefully I can get a video out and then not keep adding more things to it. Because every time I've thought about sitting down and doing a video to go through my list, I'm like, wait a minute, this happened too. So look for that coming up in the next week or two of what actually led me, what were my steps this last year. Because as I'm going through, I just remembered, I'm like, I have a journal, I'm journaling my reactions to food and what foods I'm reintroducing. I'm like, yeah, I started this journal last year in January, and just recording anything food related, diet related, and what I was trying. I'm like, I have it all written down, and just had that realization this morning. So I will be going through that as well off of what I was brainstorming, and I'll be doing an update for what has happened this year, because I feel like I've made a lot of decisions. I've tried a lot of different things, and one thing just led me down the path to another. And I know different people have asked me, well, you're carnivore, are you going to be carnivore forever? I will be on some level, probably. I can't answer that, because the only reason I went carnivore is because I really thought it had to do with I was having thyroid issues, and verified, yeah, my levels weren't normal. I wanted to stay off medication, and that is my goal, is to stay off of medication. And so depending on how foods react and what my results come back to when I take my test again in 3 months, depending on those results will depend on if I'm adding more food in or if I have to take things away. And so I can't answer, am I going to be carnivore? I don't know. Would I like to be able to have other things? Yes, definitely. Will I have fruit or a vegetable occasionally? Yes. I think almost every carnivore has done that. And yeah, I'll admit, I plan on doing that at some point. And depending on, different foods agree with me, totally different than what they have other people. And I know that just from, well, one example is when I think it was in college. I did this stupid cabbage soup diet. you've ever done that. I can't remember how long that was. I don't know if it's 7 days or 30 days. It was interesting. That is where I found out how vegetables did not agree with me. Because I remember you had this cabbage soup that you made. I liked the soup. I don't have a problem with cabbage. Where you had this cabbage soup every day, and then for certain meals, there were some days that you had fruit and some days that you had vegetables. And the days that you had vegetables were the days you were supposedly going to lose weight. Those were the days I felt like the worst, and I did not lose weight. And I flipped the suggestions because, and my mom, I remember I was doing it with my mom, and my mom was losing weight like it was suggesting, like it said, like on the days you eat vegetables, you'll lose weight. Well, I didn't. And I knew from then on, like vegetables, I never craved them. Then I never liked them. Well, part of the reason I probably never liked them is they didn't agree with me. And I always liked fruit more than vegetables, and more berries. Strawberries are my big thing, but strawberries aren't something I crave either, because a few and it's too sweet. So I've never been a huge fruit person, but if I was going to have a fruit, it would most likely be a strawberry. So there was different realizations, and I know different diets along the way when you're supposed to have lots of fruits and lots of vegetables. I really didn't. I like force myself to eat that stuff. So it was really easy to go ketovore, and carnivore was not a hard transition for me. But I never thought I was going to do carnivore. But the process that led me to carnivore, because I do remember saying the only way I go carnivore is if I thought something was wrong with me and I need to do some major healing. Well, throughout this last year, the different results and the different things I've tried made me realize I have some major healing that needs to be done. And I proved to myself carnivore has helped me and has helped me heal. So be looking for that video coming up in the next week or two. All right. So I hope to see you on our lives on Thursday night and in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.